When Bobby Rosales of the Philippines learned he had cancer, he believed his life was over. But after summoning the courage from family and friends to seek treatment, he was ready to find out the true nature of his disease.
My local oncologist here came in and she disclosed everything, the findings, you know, and it was really heartbreaking, you know, to hear, and you know, I felt really devastated to hear that kind of news. She discussed to me the treatment that I had to go through. All that time, our family friend, Johnny and Nancy C, were there in the room. Now they were listening. They did not say a word until the doctor left. Then they told me, I will strongly recommend that you go to Singapore. I know the oncologist there, he's well known, you know, he will take care of you. He's really the best in the field. So after some discussion, my wife and I said, okay, let's try Singapore.
In Singapore, Bobby would be in good company. Lung cancer is among the top 3 most common cancers in the city-state. While it can be triggered by environmental pollution, the number 1 cause is smoking. Once the cells of the lungs are damaged, they carry a higher risk of turning cancerous. But although it's so common, early-stage lung cancer rarely has any symptoms. By the time it's discovered, it can often be too late. The seriousness of Bobby's condition left no time to waste. The family left for Singapore the next day, where they met with Dr. Ang Peng Tiam of Parkway Cancer Center.
The bad news about lung cancer is that the large majority, 80% of the patients, by the time they are diagnosed, they are either stage 3 or stage 4. It's quite unusual to find a patient with either stage 1 or stage 2 lung cancer. So when I saw him, I actually discussed with him. I said, look, your cancer is fairly advanced, you know, but nevertheless, we believe that there's a chance that we still may be able to cure the cancer.
I asked him the hard questions also. I asked him, so tell me, Dr. Ang, how much longer do I have? He said, if you don't respond positively to the treatment, 2 to 3 years, maybe. But if you respond positively, you can live as long as I.
Nothing at all. Everything looks perfect.
Dr. Ang's optimism was not unfounded. In 2003, he began seeing a patient from Indonesia. Barita's symptoms had appeared in a most unexpected place.
In 2003, my husband had a swollen ankle and then a bit of swollen in the fingers, the tip of the fingers. It didn't really suffer, but then it's kind of strange that have a swollen ankle, so we saw a doctor.
While doctors in Indonesia believed the swelling was due to the thickening of the blood, Yung Lee and her husband sought a second opinion in Singapore. After some tests, Barita was diagnosed with lung cancer and was referred to Dr. Ang of Parkway Cancer Center. Barita responded very well to the treatment and was soon back on his feet. But the couple's worries were not over. 3 years after discovering her husband's cancer, Yung Lee was diagnosed with lung cancer herself. But while Yung Lee had the same cancer as her husband, she also had his ability to fight it. She too underwent surgery and chemotherapy under Dr. Ang to good effect.
So I asked him, are they still alive? For 10 years now, they're still. I'm still treating them. Oh, that's encouraging to hear.
His confidence renewed. Bobby and Dr. Ang soon began discussing his treatment options. While Bobby was a candidate for immediate surgery, Dr. Ang advised him to undergo chemotherapy first, just as he had done with Barita and Yung Lee, to shrink his tumor and prevent the cancer cells from metastasizing or spreading further.
Excellent, no problem. In many patients with lung cancer, even though the surgery has been successful, the patients relapse because Before the surgery is done, the cancer cells have actually metastasized. It's unless you're able to eradicate these small cancer cells that you cannot see, even though the surgery may be very successful, you will still end up with a patient with cancer recurrence. And that in itself is, of course, fatal.
Bobby took Dr. Ang's advice and began 3 cycles of chemotherapy, with each involving 2 5-hour sessions a week for 3 weeks at a time.
When I decided really to go through the tests, the treatment, I submitted myself completely, first to my creator, then of course to my doctor. I recognize that I will have to have confidence in my doctor if I have to go through the treatment. Otherwise, no matter what kind of treatment, if I don't have the confidence in my doctor, I don't think I will get well.
But deciding to undergo chemo was the easy part. Bobby could not have imagined the difficult journey that was ahead of him. Chemotherapy involves a series of drugs delivered intravenously to kill cancer cells. However, because chemo attacks any cells which divide quickly, it can also affect cells of the hair follicles, bone marrow, and digestive tract. This is why chemo patients often lose their hair, have weak immune systems, and suffer spells of vomiting.
When I get back to the hotel, my first session with chemo, I could hardly sleep. I panicked, actually. I finished my chemo around 9 or 10 o'clock, I think. It was already 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun was up. I was still awake. I couldn't sleep the following day. My hair was already short. The pillow, the bedsheet were all littered with hair, falling off. I would feel the effects of chemo for another week. Really bad, Then the third week, you get better. Only to prepare you for the next cycle. I wanted to die when I was going through it. The sweat, the headaches. It's so hard to understand the feeling. I cannot describe it.
During the darkest moments of his treatment, Bobby drew strength by remembering what he was fighting for, to survive the cancer so he could have more time to spend with his loved ones.
When I decided to do battle with cancer, I began to read several literature books, from the internet, clippings. They compared, being a cancer victim to retirement. After retirement, what do you do? So they always recommend the retirees to have a goal. Why do you want to live longer? Why do you want to go on living? And I really, mentally, I kept that goal in mind, which I think helped me also in my battle.
After 3 grueling cycles of chemo, Bobby and his family waited to hear whether Bobby's determination had paid off.
You eat first, you might enjoy my book too much.